What is going on, guys? Prometheus back here. This is another episode of Risk, Reward, and Fire, and I hope you guys have had a fantastic start to your week so far. Before we get started, could you please like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, guys? It helps us out a ton with the algorithm. Today, though, what we're going to be talking about is the patience game. And I see a lot of people talking about lows this, highs this, and it's been a fun week, right? So let's summarize kind of where we're at. This is a weekly chart on Bitcoin, and I just want to kind of contextually paint where we're at, locally speaking. We exited a multi-month range, broke to the downside, and does that mean we're in a trending environment? Does that mean we're in a ranging environment? Well, we are technically in a trending environment. High time frame skew is most certainly bearish, but we started really shorting around 92, went in heavy around 87, and we caught a majority of the move. We rode Bitcoin down 30%. It was a great trade. So that leads me to believe if we're in a trending environment, the majority of the move is probably done with, right? We bounced 10K off the lows. A lot of it was short covering rally. And as of right now, you do look to be carving out a range, at least on the lower time frames, right? So I'm now in the frame of mind. If we're continuing to be in a trading environment, we're probably towards the very end of that. If not, now entering into a ranging environment. So I look at that contextually speaking, and okay, we're just starting to form a range. Now, does that mean a bottom is in? And this is kind of what I wanted to bring to the table for you guys today was if bottoms historically last or take, it typically takes, at least 60 days to form a high time frame bottom. Why don't we just be patient, right? Let's protect the gains that we just made within the market. There's no reason to be longing here. There's no significant structure that is formed that is telling us a bottom is in. We're potentially forming a range that could maybe lead to continuation to the downside. It could lead to a significant, accumulation getting put in, or low volatility environment where we see whales acting as passive, buyers within the market, which I'm going to show you here in a second. But we just quote unquote, set the low. We'll see if it's a low or not. It'll take time and we'll react accordingly to price, or whether or not we're going to be seeing new lows. But it's going to take time. And now's the patience game. It was fun in games really the past few weeks, guys, since we had the breakdown back towards the end of January from those lows or from that range. And it's been a one-way trade. We have not had to worry about positioning on any other side except for the short side, right? It's just been capture the downside momentum and velocity and, enjoy the ride, right? And we've done that. We did a fantastic job. But like I said, we're now probably entering into a ranging phase. We had a significant move down. If not, the majority of the move is probably done with, at least locally speaking. But high time frame, I am bearish, leaning and skewed bearish. Now, why do I think this is not a high time frame bottom, guys? Because generally speaking, what I like to see after we have a multi-year distribution phase, this is all distribution that occurred up in here. Really more so, this is, the distribution. And if price is a reflection of emotion, we exited euphoria just recently. And so from a cyclical perspective, you had euphoria and now you enter into, hysteria and then, so on and so forth. And you guys get the gist, right? Price is a reflection of human emotion. Now, what am I looking for a bottom formation? If we look to the 2019 lows, 2022 lows, what typically occurs at those high time frame bottoms is a very, very, very tight compression or low volatility range that forms for several months, if not in the case of 2019, several, a few quarters. Now, as of right now, we have not seen that low volatility environment. In this low volatility environment, what does it describe? It describes the sellers are predominantly whales or large institutions acting as passive buyers within the market and allowing retail and sellers to just sell into them without them driving price higher. And that is indication of absorption within the market. Now, we've seen 2 days of price action, 3 days of price action, 4 days of price action, maybe a week of price action since the bottom. Nothing significant. And if we know from a historical perspective that it takes months and months and months, in this case, it was 130 days for that low. In the other case of the FTX, wick low, it was, roughly 50. We allow structure to form. And if we see a significant low volatility environment where we see a lot of passive buying, a lot of selling occurring, price not moving anywhere, that absorption that we typically see at the lows, that's a great signal that a bottom is in. But as of right now, from what I am seeing, is we are still high time frame, we should be high time frame skewed bearish within this market because of the significant structure that is now broken. And if we put in some form of low volatility environment or some form of ranging environment down here at these lows for several months, that could be a great indication that maybe a high time frame bottom is in. But as of right now, everybody's just a snake oil salesman, and what they're really doing is probably playing on your emotions of, oh, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity, or, for whatever, reason that is playing on, human emotion to pull on your heartstrings to get you to buy when there's no significant signal that there is a high time for bottom in as of right now. If we see the bottom form here, sure. Right. And what do I mean by that is that multi-month reaccumulation period form here, then sure, we could see a high time frame bottom get put in here. Now, do we have levels to watch? We absolutely do. There is, volume range right here. You have your 2024 VWAP sitting at 66K. If you lose that, you're then coming down into 50K, which would be in confluence to this demand. If you lose that demand, your next region is here. We play it level by level. There's no single level that we have to come into and have to react from. You play it level by level. And as of right now, within this market, I have no reason to believe that a bottom is in. There's nothing telling me from the structure that a bottom is in, especially from historical representation of what we generally see in bottoms. And I might come to the conclusion, if we see something similar form in, the current bear market, similar to this, where we see a high time frame range and we, have buys within this range. And even if we get a significant move, one more move down, if we're buying within this high time frame structural low, we're going to be happy regardless of the fact later down the road. It might not be, buying the Pico lows, but if we wait to see structure form and we take an opportunity there, when that structure does form, I think it's going to be a great indication for us that, hey, this is a good opportunity to be taking from a long side perspective, and we'll take it. But as of right now, we have not seen that. So it's the patience game. It's frustrating after you exit a significant trading environment like we just had to be able to now sit on your hands. But the most important thing is to protect the capital and the gains that we have now realized on this move down. Now it's patience, patience, patience. Allow structure to form. Allow the new music to play. We dance along to it until it starts to change. And what do I mean by that is we create a ranging environment. And as we change from a ranging environment to a trending environment, which will occur, or we just exited a trending environment into a ranging environment, and now the music is playing, we need to be patient. We need to let the market now tell us or describe to us what is happening next. As of right now, you kind of get the gist. We did a great rundown. So with that being said, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment on the video. I will try to get to them. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a good idea of where we're at starting this week, probably going into next week, probably really going into the end of the month, and what to look for. What to look for a high time frame bottom. Don't get emotional, be objective, and we'll approach the market accordingly. So with that being said, this is Prometheus. I will see you guys next week. As always, take care, and we'll see you later.